How do you know when you're FPV famous? Is a question that many of us ask. Some of us are FPV infamous, some of us are FPV famous. Thoms Bitmatta kind of runs that down for us. Before we get going, I do just want to drop in that, you can join my Patreon. If you like what I do, if you want to support me, links in the description below. If you join my Patreon, you get a podcast and you also get access to my Discord. I hope that you all enjoy it. I can spend a lot of time on this. See you soon.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into the last topic, and we can be short on it. All right, so I think we've talked at length about your different take on competition, about your different take on how you fly, and there's definitely a vein of humility in you. I think that is. I'm not going to say it's missing from some of the other top pilots, but it is stronger perhaps in you. Tell me, what was it like when you first realized that you were, FPV famous?
Oh, I think it's one of those things, honestly, for me, that's built up so slow. It's got over time, right? When it's sort of we were there sort of a couple of years after FPV was a thing, right? And then when the multi-rotor started becoming more mainstream is when we jumped on it. So it's sort of, I guess we've sort of grown with the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we sort of just, it was there, we entered it, and then all of a sudden grew in it. It was we were literally sort of side by side, this is what we've learned. And then sort of as we've grown bigger as a channel and whatever, the hobby's grown too. So I feel like it's something I haven't really probably felt like it sort of hit me in the face, heaps of people know about you and stuff. Probably the biggest one for me would have been in Hawaii, the Drone Worlds in 2016. I was finishing up a practice session in just a park in Waikiki, and as we're about to leave, there's these two SUVs that roll up. And there's the Colombian team and the Japanese team, and they're going Thomas BMS, and they're calling out. So it's I didn't pack up anything, right? I walk over and it's saying hi and signing stuff and getting photos. And then that was the first time Mum went with me to an international race. Yeah. It was my second international race, but Mum actually went with us to this one. And it was when she was what's going on? And she was just didn't see that before. And I was this isn't really normal. And it was just sort of that sort of when it hit me, I was damn, this is cool. I realized that people know you and stuff, and it's just I think it's awesome. It's strange now too, but more people have gotten into the racing side without being into fixed wing and that. So because a lot of people before they were, they're watching us when I was into fixed wing, and then there were, there's quads that, they're going to whatever, and then eventually we cross paths, and it's oh yeah, I've been following you since then. You've been talking to them ages online. It's probably more now when you're getting people that have nothing to do with the hobby, or they have no electronics background. They just came into it from the outside, just I want to do this drone thing. I need to learn how to solder and whatever. And it's those people more that catch me off guard, where they're it's they're acting like I'm some super duper sports star or whatever. And I guess I sort of am within the hobby, right? But right. It's kind of surreal when they guys oh, I'm a big fan. I've been watching you for a few years, and I remember you from this video, and it's
yeah.
They're probably the ones that hit me harder, where it's oh wow, this person's a super special. They're meeting me, but it's I'm a normal person. I'm just like them. It's it's about how, and it's funny when they ask for advice, right? And it's oh yeah, it's my turns aren't feeling that good, and that I feel I could improve this line here, and that's yeah, I could feel the same. It's literally we're all chasing the same thing, right? And it's one of those things where it's they expect this super worldly tip or whatever. It's well, they're actually just doing all the same things I am. Right. It's just I've been doing it longer, right? So it's sort of it's cool when you see that, and it's that's probably what catches me off guard more. Mm-hmm. Where it's no people that haven't probably seen the full build up of how I've sort of came to this position, and it's whoa, they see this massive gap between us, but there really isn't that. It's just they're progressing on their own way, and they're sort of chasing the same things that I am on, and that I was back then. So it's that's when it catches me off guard, I think.
Do you ever find it to be uncomfortable?
Not really. I think generally everyone's pretty cool. So no one's super like full on to the point that it's like, you know, awkward or anything. I think we overall have a really cool community, right? Everyone's friends. And I think too, a lot of those people, they'll come in sort of from as an outsider, or they'll see themselves as an outsider, right? But then like in 2 days of racing, they're another one of us, right? They're full in the hobby. They've got like their 500 friends list and whatever, and you know, everybody knows everybody. So it doesn't take that long, I think, for someone to get assimilated into our culture. So we're like the Borg. Everyone will be assimilated. It's gonna happen. They'll become one of us.
You know, as I mean, you know, you've got a name now, right? You've got a name, you've got a voice. As that name and voice has grown bigger, how have the challenges changed?
Probably for me now, the new challenge I'm facing is where obviously I'm in a position where I love this. I love what I do. I love getting to travel and race and design. It's probably now more the commercial aspect of where, you know, I want to do this in the long term. I need to make it something that's going to be stable, right? So obviously, you know, prize money is not reliable at all for a living, because, you know, that comes and goes depending on what events there are and seasons and, you know, whatever else happens. So probably, like, I'm not that good of a businessman. Like, I think I have a lot of really good ideas, but I'm not necessarily the best at implementing them and sort of doing things cost effective. I tend to chase, like, especially with like designs and that, perfection, than just sort of, you know, bring stuff out. I think with the racing, it's not so bad with the drone stuff, just because, you know, at the end of it, it's what I race, so I have to get, you know, as close to perfect as I can. You know, obviously before the race season starts. But then with other things too, I'm probably a bit too slow to move, and then also just not really good at business stuff in general. So it's probably me trying to learn that stuff and not have it take over and sort of, you know, ruin the parts I enjoy. It's a balance, I think, like anything. You know, at the end of the day, I still do this for fun. This is what I enjoy. As much as a full-time job for me. It's not like I go, oh, I hate this, I don't want to do this anymore. This feels like work. It doesn't. I absolutely love it, and I put probably way more hours than I would if I had a normal job or if I had university. But it's, just trying to make that now viable in a way that doesn't intrude with who I am. So yeah, we're working on it. I think definitely like having people like, you know, Trappy and, you know, Team Motor and all that, and seeing their experiences obviously as a business, and sort of, you know, I guess Trappy's going where he went from doing this just as a hobby to now he's got TBS and all that. And even just, you know, past experiences from my dad working at Boeing and whatever, and, you know, how to run this stuff viably, and that's a whole new aspect for me, but I'm also really enjoying it. Probably the thing I'm not used to with that is the fact that I can't now share everything that I know, like with, you know, this someone's got new tech, right? And it's like, it's something really cool, or I've developed something new, right? And it's like, well, if I say I've got this now, then that's gonna like kill another product from happening, right? So I need to like just hold my horses a bit, wait till it's ready, and then when it's released, I can talk about it. I'm not used to that, and I'm not used to, if I come up with a really good idea, maybe just keep it to myself a bit longer and develop it a bit more before sort of spreading it everywhere. Some ideas I spread everywhere, just because if I know I can't take something on, then hopefully someone will hear my idea and take it on themselves and grow into something amazing. But that's definitely not something I'm used to, the whole business side of it. But I'm getting there, I think. Just slowly working on it. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the manufacturing though. So
that's cool.
That's cool. I think that's probably the big step for me, because once that's stable, that's when all of a sudden now I can sort of full send in this, right? And I don't have to have any reservations or worry about backup plans and stuff, because then once that's sort of going along smoothly, then I can, you know, really start investing a lot of time and, you know, like time full focused, I should say. Because obviously I'm already investing a lot of time, but like my entire attention to things and pushing things that I probably wouldn't normally push and taking risks I wouldn't normally take right now, I could afford to take those if I have more stability. So that's sort of, I guess, the goal I'm going for right now.
Okay. How you know, just as the challenges have changed, how do you think the advantages have changed?
As in advantages with more of a voice and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, take it as you will, but
definitely the biggest thing is that obviously I can produce what I want, right? Where like now we've got such a strong relationship with like Team Motor and that, where we can afford to be like, hey, Team Motor, I've got a new design for like a stator or whatever. This is what I think. I think we should move to something like this. And then they just start producing not these motors, but just other prototype stuff, right?
Mhm.
Where you've got, you know, companies that trust you. It's one of the things that's kind of scary because obviously it's their money. You don't want to waste it. You don't want to bring them down. But then the fact you do get the privilege of working with them and that they've got your trust to actually, you know, suggest things. And this is the direction I think it's going to go. Usually, I mean, when I do that, I tend to approach it from this is what I want. This is probably what will actually sell. And then we usually find somewhere in the middle where it's like, you know, it's practical. But like sort of having that trust with people where it's like, this is the direction that I believe is the correct one. And, you know, people trust you with that. And it's like, you know, it's their R&D, it's their employees that they're putting to, you know, your word and making sure that things work. So sort of having that level of trust is really weird. Where it's like even with TBS, you know, they've got a new radio that's got all kinds of crazy technology in it. And they gave it to me. Yeah, it's just like sort of at that point where they're trusting with their pride and joy. I think the first time that hit me hard, 2016 with Impulse RC, where they're based in Brisbane. So they're like a 3-hour plane flight from where I live. They came down to Melbourne and they handed me their Impulse RC Helix, the very first one, to see what I could do with it. At that point, the Helix had a ton of technology that just wasn't in FPV at that point, right? Like it had an OSD, which is a really new thing at the time. The whole integrated flight controller and their VTX, which is still one of the best video transmitters to this day. And the whole form factor too, combined with the weight savings, meant that it was ridiculously ahead of its time. At least in quad years, right? That was probably when it first hit me, where it's like, well, these guys have came down with no NDA or anything, and they're trusting me with their baby 2 months before release. And it's like, yeah, and from there it's just gone crazier. So, you know, that's not just them giving us something to try now and give feedback on. It's now like I've got my own product lines and like that's just, it's kind of ridiculous that. And where, you know, obviously everything you say, people are going to be analyzing and whatever. So you don't want to spread any misinformation, you know, be extra careful with what you say. But and that's also cool though, because people do listen to you and actually have trust in you. It's weird having, you know, people you don't even know having faith in what you say. So, but it's cool. So,
have you ever been in an experience, a relationship situation, whatever you want to call it, where you feel like somebody has tried to kind of take advantage of your voice or your name or your thoughts, your ideas?
I think probably some people have inadvertently, not in that, I don't think if anyone's ever tried to in a bad way. No one's ever like gone in vain and tried to do something like bad. But I mean, sure, people have tried to like sort of benefit themselves in ways that sort of like, you can't really do that. That's not nice. But I don't think anyone's ever done anything that I would say, to me at least, particularly dramatic or weird. Probably the worst thing I had was when there was a company that was like, oh, we're going to do this and this, and, you know, you can be like the Tony Hawk of FPV and whatever. And they basically had a contract that was like, they're going to earn your life and you might get something out of it at the end. And I was just like, no. And that ended up falling through in the end. But that's the worst I've ever had. I don't know. I think just generally everyone in the community is really good. And if someone does something bad by the community, like you tend to hear about it pretty fast, right? Like the community, even though it's a big community, but like compared to other communities, it's still pretty small. And we're so connected, like with the internet now. We're such a global community that's like thrives off the internet existing. The very nature of that means if you say something, even if it's like in private or whatever, like, you know, it'll spread.
Yeah.
It just does.
Oh, man. So, you know, on that vein, have you ever been caught up in a drama storm? I have other names for them, by the way, but we'll just call it drama storm and keep it PG.
I've never had anything really bad. The worst, I'm trying to think of something bad. Someone was talking about once that my motors weren't going to be good at all. They were just like no advancements or anything, but they didn't race or anything. But they were like, race me in a freestyle competition or something. That was like the worst I ever had. And it was like, easier, just go on a racetrack and like beat my lap times and efficiency. It's the easier way to do it. It was like, it was just like, you know, problem solved. So it's sort of, I don't know. I haven't really encountered much of that. I think some people tend to attract it more.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe also I'm just more cautious and stuff. So.
Me.
Yeah, I think it's, with social media stuff, probably people tend to jump on it faster.
Yeah.
So I don't do that much social media. I don't do as much as I should. I don't market as much as I should, probably considering the position I'm in. It's something I need to get better at. But it's one of those things I'll work towards. I think that's just the nature of social media.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
So
It is.
I think as long as you stay true to yourself, that's what's important, right? Because if you do that, as long as you don't lose sight of that, then I think, it doesn't matter what people say. You just keep tracking on your own way. I mean, if I even simple things, like if I listen to everyone on what's the right way to design a frame, there's no way this would come into existence, right?
Right.
So it's like, obviously you got to be flexible. You got to be open enough to listen to people, but also know yourself enough to not let other thoughts get in the way of what you want or what you want to create. Sort of you open up a little, knowing you'll get influenced, but don't let things over influence you and take you away from where you want to go. So
that's that's a good way to look at it.
It's a hard balance.
Yeah.
It's not.
As a dad, so just we're gonna bring it back to dad because that's my relation point. My kids, they've all started asking. They're 10, 12, and 14, and it'll be 11, 12, and 14 in next week. They've all started asking, hey, when can we get Instagram? When can we get TikTok? When can we get Facebook? When can we get YouTube? And they can watch YouTube. That's pretty much it. But I told them, I said, look, you guys are not going to get that until you are, established enough in yourself to know that you're established enough in yourself such that anything that happens online is not going to sway you into being a different person. And so that's a tall bar to hit. A lot of adults don't hit that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. I mean, obviously, I'm not a parent, so I don't.
Well,
I'm kind of what Dad regurgitated to me about how he, made me into me. But I think it's his idea was always trying to explain to me, sort of not telling me this is what to do, right? But sort of about pros and cons. This is what can happen, right? Yeah. And this is why things end up the way they are. And I think it's sort of having not just sort of a you can or you can't, because that almost invites more, wanting to look into it and be influenced by it. I think just sort of having it well, this is what it is. This is how it can affect you. This is the pros and cons. So it's good because obviously the internet's great. You can get information so fast, but it's bad. People send information so fast. So it's like, is all that information right or wrong? You just have to sort of learn how to process it. And I think it's one of those things, until you are exposed to it, you can't obviously fully comprehend that and learn how to manage it. But then for the same token, it's like anything, you can't just, I guess, it's like going in head first, but also like taking a step back and when to, and sort of having both perspectives of immersing yourself in it, but also trying to not let it completely override who you are. So I think I was probably, I guess for me too, where it was very much the internet and that becoming it. Well, I mean, it existed before I was born, but really sort of becoming what it is now. Like,
wait, hold on. Did you just call me old? I existed before the internet was born, daggone it.
But it's like, as in like, sort of, I like, when it started really finding itself into sort of the modern way that it is and how media is, and sort of like the social, especially the social aspect, where it's not everything's commercial. It's very much.
You were born after the dot bomb. You were born after Web 1.0.
Was that what year?
99.
I'm 1999. So yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was graduating.
The crazy thing was when smartphones were a thing. I remember having a conversation with Dad about this actually, because we were talking about how impractical a smartphone is, right? And this is the big thing that I came up with, which is the fact that you can get fingerprints on the screen. So like, there's no way that's going to work. And it was only until I saw an iPhone in person for the first time, I was like, this is really fast. This isn't slow at all. It's like a whole computer. And it was like, that freaked me out. Because I remember up until that point, like I was ready for the day I was going to get a flip phone. Like my dad was telling me I was going to flip phone because it's a mechanism that's going to break. And I knew that, but I don't care. It's going to flip. And it's like, I mean, I guess flip phones are sort of a thing now with the folding phone, but
yeah, I was gonna say you can get your flip phone now and run Android at the same time.
Yeah, but it's sort of like, I guess that's probably the one that's really freaking me out now with phones, where I was sort of my vision of what a phone was, and then what it became sort of halfway through my schooling, and it's like, what? And now it's the thing too, where it's normal that everyone has a phone, even kids and stuff, because how else are you going to communicate and connect? So just the level of connection now we have in modern society is insane. I mean, this hobby wouldn't be here without it. But just the fact that even like, I remember in primary school, my dad telling me I wouldn't be in contact with my friends when I go to high school because we're all going to go to different high schools and it's highly likely we're just going to drift apart. But the internet happens and social media, so we all hang out. I don't think I've really dropped contact with any of my friends, and if I don't speak to them that much, I still like see them in Facebook posts and stuff. So I still know what everyone's up to. So just the fact it's that connected nowadays, where you just don't lose contact with everyone. You want to have a conversation with someone in America while I'm in New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, like we're doing it right now. Like you're in New Zealand. What time is it for you?
It is. I've got a computer here. I can actually.
This is always fun.
4:38.
By the way, I'm on the 25th now.
Oh really? Okay, I'm 25th, 4:38 p.m. So you're past 12.
Yeah, I'm at 12:38.
Damn, late night.
Anyways, all right. So, where can people find you, and how can they get in touch with you if you want them to?
Yeah. So, BMS Web YouTube is our main YouTube channel, and then there's BMS Thomas, which is my personal one. Basically, BMS Web's where all the real, the proper edits and that happen. BMS Thomas is just where I want to post something random that doesn't really fit in. We're going to try to upload to that more, but probably the easiest ways are through Facebook, just personal Facebook, Thomas. We have a BMS Racing Facebook page. So you can join that. We also have Instagram, another really easy way. So BMS Web Instagram or BMS Thomas _. I couldn't get BMS Thomas. So I'm BMS Thomas _.
Right.
I've got an underscore in my name that I'm
terrible. At least you didn't add like 5 S's to Thomas.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you, we're pretty contactable. So you can just message us through any of those, or see what we're up to, and I think that's all the things. I think we have Twitter, but we don't use Twitter, so you can follow our Twitter if you want, but we really don't use Twitter.
I know, man. I haven't used Twitter in forever. All right, so what we'll do is we'll put those links in the description. And thank you for coming on. This has been spectacular. This has been a fun conversation.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, that's been good. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been on the Michael Rollins Show because, as you know, we could not find a better name to call it. You have been all riding along with Thoms Bitmatta, otherwise known as BMS Thomas. Thank you for coming along. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, see you around.
Definitely.
I want to say thank you to Thomas. This was, the interviews are just getting longer and longer, but they're more fun. And I really, really just enjoyed talking to him. He's such a humble guy. And he thinks about other people. He wants to, he pulls as much enjoyment out of the camaraderie and the community that he's in as he does winning. And there's nothing wrong with winning at all. Play to win, right? But being able to realize that this guy who is at the top, he's one of the top 4 or 5 racers in the whole world, just loves going to events so he can talk to people, right? Like that's the thing that makes him tick. So anyways, Thomas, thank you so much. It was just a super pleasure to talk to you. I really enjoyed it, and I hope that we get a chance to talk again. Anyways, I will talk with y'all soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you later. Bye.